Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tinker with Tools. Today we are going to be unboxing something that I have purchased that I've wanted for quite some time, just never dedicated the money to getting it. Well, I recently found a way to get it for a lot cheaper, albeit with some risk. So we're going to unbox this today, get into what it is and why I've wanted it, and then we'll cover whether or not it was a good deal or whether I would recommend it. So let's do that today on Tinker with Tools. So what we're talking about today comes in this box. So this is actually from Acme Tools. It is a factory reconditioned tool, and we are going to unbox it, show you what it is, and tell you if I think it was a good deal to get it reconditioned or if I would recommend otherwise. One of the things I will say is in terms of ease of opening, this is not an easy open package. Oh. And now that I'm able to open it, I am seeing that it is actually just loose in the bag, right in there. So, okay, this is from Bosch. This is actually their 18-volt version of their FlexiClick. It has some different names. I've seen it called a Chameleon. I've seen it called the FlexiClick. There's a lot of different names, but basically it has interchangeable chucks that you can remove off the front, but it is an 18-volt drill. I've already reviewed the DeWalt 5-in-1. I've also reviewed the Milwaukee installation drill driver. I love these tools because of the versatility they give you in a single tool and some of the flexibility they afford you. But obviously, up until now, all I've been reviewing is the 12-volt variants. And actually, power-wise, it's almost double what you're getting out of the 12-volt variants. Now, obviously, it's a little bit bigger, so we're going to see how that comes into play and kind of figure it out. Right off the bat, I know Bosch makes a 12-volt system. I have never used it, and so I am not too familiar with this chuck system. We're going to go ahead and, oh, it just comes right off. That chuck is very well built, nice and heavy. It's good to see a nice, robust chuck on here. The Milwaukee one is also very nice and heavy. The DeWalt one, it's a little plasticky. That leaves just this as the base of the tool. It has a nice 2-speed gearbox. It has, you know, the normal clutch settings and everything you'd expect. And it's obviously going to have the bigger, more robust batteries. These 4 amp hour Bosch batteries are a dream to work with. They're probably one of my favorite batteries just for the form factor. They're nice and compact, but they do actually have quite a bit of capacity. So let's go ahead and see what else comes in the box. Standard Bosch charger. So then we have another chuck here. This is going to be the offset chuck. Once again, very heavy duty. The amount of metal and weight that is on these is rather impressive, I will say that. Okay. This is my first time trying to put a chuck on. Oh, I think that was it. It wasn't clicked in all the way. So now that it's in, taking it off, just twist and it pulls right off. It's a very different system than what I'm used to with both the DeWalt and the Milwaukee, where you basically just kind of depress a piece of the collet here and it kind of clicks into place. That's not happening here. I'm sure I'll get used to it, like I said, but it is a little bit different from what I'm used to. Okay, so then we have the right angle, and this one is kind of the more plasticky feel. Still has decent weight to it, and once again, the connection points here are still nice big machined metal. Okay. Now, one thing that this doesn't have is the ability to kind of pair one on top of the other. So I can't do my right angle and then my offset like I can with the DeWalt and the Milwaukee. The tool body is kind of the 4th chuck. Right here you do have a 1/4-inch hex collet. It doesn't appear to be, oh no, it is a little locking. So I think this is one of my bigger complaints about Bosch on their impact drivers, the Freak. It's not a quick insert collet, and so it's just a little bit clunky. This one is even clunkier because you're depressing it instead of pulling out. It operates opposite of what I would expect a chuck to. So that is a little bit different, a little bit weird. It does come with a nice Bosch bag, very similar to the other ones I've gotten from them. One of the most intriguing things about this one in particular is it does have an SDS attachment that is $100 on its own, comes separately. But when you get that, this does become a miniature light-duty SDS hammer drill. Just already, one of the annoyances is the quick insert chuck. Just the fact that you do have to go a different direction or do something different than you're used to on every other chuck that you have, or quick insert collet, that's a downvote, if you will. So let's go and see what kind of power we have. This is just a small deck screw. And we're in speed 2 and drill mode in 3, 2, 1. And it is driven at 1/4 inch past flush, just without really even trying. There is gobs of power, and there is a nice variable speed trigger. So far, I'm loving it. Let's try it on a slightly bigger screw. This is now going to be a 3.5 inch. Once again, plenty of power. I'm going to dial the clutch back just a little bit. Very nice clicks and detents there. I just want to see what kind of control I get with the clutch. Okay, so it does stop it. If you watched our video a few weeks back on the Ryobi drill I hated so much, that clutch was almost comically bad. This one, I'm all the way down on 13, and it still drove it past flush into OSB. So it seems like there's going to be some variability there. Okay, we're going to go down to 10, right in the middle. Okay, so it is cutting out. If we go up to 12, we're able to get it almost seated perfectly. So good control on the clutch. All right, so now attaching. It's almost just like the ratcheting that you would get from tightening a bit down is what you're ratcheting into with this. So you'd obviously ratchet down here when you're putting a bit in. You're ratcheting up on this red ring that has the symbols on it when you're putting something in there. And then it is locked into place. Alright, so now we're just going to do some drilling test. Alright, so now we just have a 1/2 inch spider twist bit going through what's a little bit thicker than a 2x4. But we're just in drill mode. It does go right through it. What I would consider pretty decent power. Okay, let's just step it up to something a little bit bigger. So this is still a 1/2 inch bit. It is a spider, but this is kind of the self-feeding auger bit. One of the main reasons I want to put this in is this is a 1/2 inch all metal chuck, and so it is taking a 7/16 shank bit, which your 12-volt tools cannot do. All right, in 3, 2, 1. Not as fast as some of the bigger, more powerful drills that I would test, but certainly worthy of your time. All right, so because we don't have to have that chuck on there, we're switching back over to a 7/8 inch Bosch Daredevil. I'm just going to feed this into the regular chuck, or the collet, to make it a little shorter. We'll get to see how this performs. Okay, this appears to be a 1/2 inch collet as well. Here we go. Okay, I was just curious. I wanted to see what it would do on a bigger fastener. So let's go ahead and try a 5 inch. In 3, 2, 1. Alright, so now time for conclusions. When I'm looking at this tool, it is a great tool. Is it worth the $300 that it goes for standard? No, I don't necessarily think that I would be paying that for it, but I didn't pay that for it. That's where that Bosch factory recondition comes in. This tool was like new. I can't see anything on it that indicates that it's been used. Maybe your mileage may vary. So I ended up getting this tool for 33% off with an additional 10% on top of that, just as part of a promotion they had around Father's Day. you're getting everything that you'd get if you paid full price. You're getting the different chucks and everything. You're getting the 4 amp hour battery. You're getting the charger. It does have some of the features that you start to expect in a more high-end 18-volt tool. It does come with Bosch's connection system that allows you to control the tool and change different settings. There's actually anti-kickback control on this tool that's going to prevent it when it binds up from ripping out of your hand and destroying your wrist. And what I just read in the manual is it actually does give you the ability to fine-tune that to kick in earlier or later, depending on how you want to do it. You just have to go through the app to be able to set that up. If Milwaukee or DeWalt came out with an 18-volt version of that tool, I think it'd be really great. But, you know, I don't think this Bosch one is selling like hotcakes, so I wouldn't necessarily hold your breath for it anytime soon. I do understand that there might be some chances you could get something like this overseas in an 18-volt version from some of those brands. But here in the States, Bosch is the only 18-volt one besides, I believe, the Festool, which has an interchangeable chuck drill. I believe the price on that is $599, and so it is not for the faint of heart. It is a very expensive tool. So, bottom line, I'll give you 2 different recommendations. One, if you need something a little more powerful, but it's still in that kind of installation drill driver platform, I can recommend this. It is a solid tool. It did everything I would expect it to do in its weight class, if you will, and so I think that is a good solid thing. As far as the factory recondition goes, if you look over their website, even just in Bosch, I was looking, they had over 20 products that are factory reconditioned in varying forms of discount. There was the 12-volt version of this that Bosch has that was only a few dollars off. That isn't necessarily something I'm going to jump at, but when this one was as steep of a discount as it was, it certainly made it something that I was willing to jump into and willing to go after. So we'll be putting this in a head-to-head later on against the 12-volt, just so you can see how the two compare, maybe do some times and see how each one runs through the test, and we'll give it a little more time to get used to it and see what it's going to offer. This was just a quick unboxing. So let me know if you have questions about this tool. Let me know if there's something you'd like to see tested with it, and we'll try and maybe find a way to test out that Bluetooth connectivity to see if it's worth it and see if there's anything there. So thanks for watching this video. If you have a minute, go ahead and leave a comment down below with something you'd like to see. If you like the video, click the like button. And if you want to see more content from Tinker with Tools, go ahead and hit that subscribe and make sure to check the bell notification so you can see when we have new videos released. Thanks for watching. Until next time, this has been Tinker with Tools.